Hello and welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network special interview. I am your host, Lewis Carlin. Very excited today because on the show, I have somebody that is seen all over the Ontario indie scene. Great talent. I've seen him in action live and he's very talented. Very happy to welcome to the show, the Irish underdog, Ryan Donavon. Ryan, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me, man. Long overdue.
Yeah, long
Very
overdue,
excited.
man. It's good to have you on the show. So how you doing today? I know you had a big match last night, so why don't you tell me a little bit about that big match you had for NCW?
Yeah. Feeling great this morning. Got the big win last night, and we had a really good match. Crowd was really hot. They were really into everything. That's the great thing about wrestling being back now is crowds just really want to see wrestling. So everybody's been hot. Match was great. So yeah.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So yeah, it must be great being back in the ring. I know with the hiatus and everything, this stupid COVID crap, must be so good to be back in the ring and hearing the crowds cheering again, man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what we live for, right? So when you take this away from us, I mean, depression, all that sort of stuff sets
Yeah.
in. And you can't go to the gym, you can't train. So now that everything is back, it just feels so good. I feel like I'm really getting back into my own, like my own zone and stuff like that, and finding out a little bit more who I am as a pro wrestler. So everything's been going really well.
Good man, good man. Now, I didn't know you were a singer. I saw your video posted on Facebook. So tell me a little bit about the story because you were so into that song, your eyes were closed for the entire song.
Oh
So
man.
tell me a little bit about the story behind that.
Well, definitely there was a few beers in the mix. That definitely helped with the karaoke. To be honest, I didn't even know that they were filming. We went to my girlfriend's aunt's place, and they have like a little kind of a setup in their garage and stuff. So they have her husband plays guitar, and they do karaoke and stuff. So having a few drinks and everything, went up, started singing, and one thing led to another. And hopefully it wasn't too bad.
No, you rocked it out, man. If feel
That's
free
right.
if you want to break out in song during this interview, just feel free, man.
Hey,
Feel
you
free.
never know. Don't
Never know, man.
never
I
say
think I,
never.
I think you need a couple of beers first before you could
Yeah, it might be a little too early in the morning for the beers, but you never know.
okay. There you go. Now we talked about your match last night. You recently had a match with Seaway Valley Wrestling against Chip Chambers. So tell me about
Yes.
that one. Chip Chambers, very talented from the Maritimes. So tell me about your thoughts on that match and your thoughts on Chip Chambers.
Yeah. First time working with them. And Seaway Valley, amazing to be back. The fans there really hungry for wrestling. It's my hometown, so I was just a little extra excited, obviously. And Chip's a great worker. He's a great talent. I think he's one of the best Maritimes has to offer. He's kind of like one of those underkept secrets. You know what I mean? I don't think everybody knows who he is, but I think he's very good, very talented. And the match was terrific. Like I said, fans were into everything. We had them hook, line, and sinker. We really made them believe in us and the finish and stuff like that. Got a really good pop on the finish. I started using something new for my finisher, so I debuted that in front of that crowd, and that got a huge pop. So that was great, and really enjoyed the match.
Yeah, I forgot to ask Al. He hasn't posted results yet, but who won that match? Was it you or Chip Chambers?
That was me.
Okay,
Another
congratulations,
win for
congratulations.
Donavon. Yeah.
Congratulations. So I agree. Chip Chambers, very talented wrestler.
Yeah.
So what did you think? There were other maritime talents there. Covey Christ, Mia Malik. What did you think of the maritime talent?
Really good. I've worked Covey before, and we've known each other for a long time now. We met when they came to Ottawa, and they
Yeah.
were doing coming down to do big time pro wrestling. So we met there. We had a match at Seaway Valley Wrestling, and I really think those guys are really talented. I really think Covey is really talented in his character and his gimmick. He knows who he is. Can't wait for those guys to come back.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure to meet you. I was at when Seaway Valley Wrestling returned. It was a pleasure to meet you. You had a
Oh,
great
thank
match
you.
against Dino Benjamin,
Oh,
but
Dino. Oh.
that was it was a lot of false finishes there. I was like, oh my god, who's going to win this match? But that was a great match against Dino. So you mentioned Seaway Valley Wrestling. It must have been great to be back in the Seaway Valley Wrestling ring.
Oh my God, yes. Growing up around Cornwall and stuff, I had been coming to shows. I had been helping out through the different promoters that they had. And now that Seaway Valley is rocking in full swing, and to be a member of the roster and be a big part of the show, having my friends and family there as well, that's just an amazing feeling. I really love the company, and I think I am Seaway Valley Wrestling. So it was great to be back in the ring. As for Dino, he pulled one out on me,
Yeah,
with the help of his manager Chaz.
yeah,
Chaz Lovely. They got the last word on me there. However, I got some nice big chops in on Chaz and Dino.
yeah,
They had a little bottle, a little spray bottle, and
yeah.
they were saying that in Cornwall they had put their hand sanitizer in these little bottles, and just they were saying how gross they thought Cornwall was and everything. So it
Yeah.
was nice to be able to give them a little taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, no, it was like I said, great match, great match. Now, you said that you are Seaway Valley Wrestling. There's a new Seaway Valley Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Big Daddy D Roy. Do you have your sights set on possibly challenging for that title?
I definitely do. Me and D-Roy, again, we go way back. We trained in the same school together for Big Time Pro Wrestling originally, and we've had lots of matches against each other. We actually traveled a lot together. We've been to New Jersey together, CZW. I got a special place for D-Roy for sure. But when it comes to that title, man, I've been training. I've been in the gym as much as I can. I've been trying to put on the most size that I can to become the Seaway Valley world champion. And one day, Ryan Donovan will be Seaway Valley champion.
I don't doubt you, man. I don't doubt you. Interesting. I didn't know that you wrestled in the States. So you wrestled for CCW in New Jersey. How did that come about? And tell me about that experience.
So a friend of mine was actually going down and doing Dojo Wars, Ryan Rogan. He was doing
Okay.
Dojo Wars and invited me to come down. And we went down a couple times. We did a few matches. We also wrestled in Albany, New York, and a few other places around there. We met some guys and we went down again with them. And one time that we went down, we actually did, it was CZW on Wednesday. And then Thursday we did NYWC, which was Mikey Whipwreck's school.
Okay.
So that was really good experience. They actually used the old ECW ring. So that was really cool to bump in the same ring as Eddie and Dean and all those guys back in the day. And yeah, that was it was great. And we did Rhode Island as well, and we did Connecticut. So we did this whole little loop, and it was great. We ran into some border problems, which kind of stopped going to the States for now. The border is what it is. It's a difficult thing to navigate, but yeah. Loved it, loved wrestling in the States, and wanted to continue to go back. We were going back every weekend, so I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we can start doing that again.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. Have you ever wrestled in a Queen? I'm from Queens, New York. Did
Really?
you did you wrestle in Queens, New York, or you
No,
didn't quite make it?
no, but the funny thing was, so when we were going, we were in New Jersey, and then we went to Long Island for
Okay.
NYWC. And
Okay.
as we were driving, I got lost.
Okay.
And all of a sudden I see the Bronx and we see Yankee Stadium. And
Okay.
I'm like, oh man, I'm like, we're in the Bronx. We got to get out of here. I had to drive through like downtown Manhattan,
Yeah.
and I felt like just this kid. I'm in my car and I'm surrounded in Manhattan, and I'm just like, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? And so the GPS just kept recalculating us, and all of a sudden we finally got our way to Long Island. But yeah, it was quite the trip.
Yeah, driving in Manhattan is not fun. It's not
Oh,
fun at all. I've done it. I've done it
in
a
a
few
standard
times.
car.
Yeah, I've done it a few times. Not fun driving in Manhattan. But I'm glad you're able to find your way out to Long Island. I used to live in East Meadow, Long Island as well. Actually,
Oh, wow.
the first professional wrestling show I ever went to was on Long Island, the Nassau Coliseum.
Oh,
19.
cool.
I'm a little older than you. 1980. Main event was Andre versus Hulk Hogan. So that
Oh,
was a
wow, that
cool
must have been
experience.
awesome.
That was a
That's
cool
very cool that
experience.
you got to see Andre, live.
Yeah, that's the only time I went to a show that Andre was on. I am thankful that I got to see Andre live. So you're the Irish Underdogs. Tell me how you got the name the Irish Underdog.
Well, I guess my personality is very like just never give up. I've always felt like the underdog as far as like everybody. I've always worked very hard for everything that I have, and I always give my all 110%. And I was always just feeling that like you know myself. I'm Irish. I come from an Irish background. My school, everything like that, we're very Irish and Scottish. We love Irish music and drinking, and we do Scottish dancing and Irish dancing and all kinds of things. So I kind of went back into myself, and I was like, what about me can I bring to pro wrestling? And that the Irish aspect is something that spoke to me, and using that type of music and that type of vibe, and then the underdog, like I said, it was just something that I felt like I was in the ring, and I felt like I could bring that. However, on that note, so I've been the Irish underdog for quite a while now. And I feel like it's time for an evolution. I feel like, Ryan Donovan needs to evolve. And I've been looking in myself and seeing, yes, that is a part of me, but that's not the only me,
Mhm.
So I've got something in the works that I'm going to be debuting soon, and see how that catches on. I'm very
Okay.
intense in the ring.
Okay.
I loved Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Kurt Angle. So trying to be a little mix of those guys, a little bit intense, a little ruthless, a little relentless.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, you must be reading my mind because my next question was, do you think you'll ever evolve from being from the Irish underdog? But you answered the question. So, so do you have a copy of the questions? No, I'm just
I might have a little something in my back pocket.
okay. Okay. Now you say you could be ruthless. When I had McCray Martin on, he mentioned that he was in a tag team match, you and I think it was Thomas Ledoux against
Yes,
him,
Junior Benito.
and he said that you were just ruthless, went after Benito's ankle and really hurt his ankle. So
Absolutely.
do you prefer being a babyface, or do you prefer being a heel, or it doesn't matter?
I definitely prefer being a babyface.
Okay.
I feel that I love the adulation of the crowd, and I love like just being with them. You know, I do enjoy being heel to a certain degree. I feel like if it's something that's needed, I can do it. I can do it well. It's something that I'll need to work on a little bit more because I've worked on being a face way more. You know what I mean? And a lot of my moves and a lot of my sequences and things like that are all based around being a face, having that fire, you know. But in the ring, I feel like when I come through that curtain, I am intense. I am ruthless. I am intense, but not in a cheating kind of way, if that makes sense. Because to
Yeah.
me, I feel the difference between a baby face and a heel is the fact that a heel will always cheat to get the upper hand. He's a cheater, he's a liar, he's a backstabber, he's all these, qualities of a person that people don't like. I don't feel like I am that deep down. I just feel like I'm intense. Oh, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go, and when I come to that curtain, I show that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get a little scared there for a second when you said I'm ruthless. I kind of backed up a little, backed up a little bit. Then I'm like, oh,
It, it,
it's we're on computer, so I'm
it,
safe.
it's got a nice ring to it, eh? Ruthless Ryan Donovan.
Yeah, no, that could be that could be it. You could be ruthless Ryan Donovan. Yeah,
Yeah,
something to definitely think about. Something to definitely think about.
yeah,
So you said that you were training with Mike Bailey. So tell me,
yes.
how is Speedball Mike Bailey as a trainer?
Oh, terrific. He really takes the time. He really cares about everybody. And for me personally, he's just made me such a better performer, such a better wrestler. Timing, my cardio, because if you're wrestling with Mike Bailey, you need to have cardio because he's going a mile a minute, you've got to be there. So I feel like that's reflected in my matches. And I feel that I've become a better performer that way. I am the way he structures things, and the way he teaches you really understand why he structures things that way. And I mean, just so much fun. Is such a good guy to, you have an idea, you can ask him. He won't give you the answer, but he will make you think about it in a way that you almost come up with the answer yourself. Like I would say, hey, I need a comeback, I need a shine, I need something. I'm trying to think, and he's like, he'll give you the tools, and then he will get you to come up with it yourself and teach you how to, to create shines, how to create comebacks, how to create falsies and make them exciting and transitions. It's like, you teach a man or you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach a man to fish, he eats for life. So that's how I feel he is as a teacher. And as a person, he's just a great guy.
Yeah, could you see yourself as a trainer possibly one day? Do you think it's something you might want to do?
Actually, yeah. So I don't do it now, but I love personal training. I have some friends of mine that, myself, I built my own body. And, I love that aspect of coming in and teaching somebody something, them listening to you and applying it, and then you seeing them succeed and you seeing them grow and coming back to you and saying, wow, what you told me really worked, or, I really like how we did this. And, I had a friend of mine who, a small guy, went in the gym with me. And, he gained like 10, 15 pounds and he was looking good. And it was a good feeling, so it's definitely something that I'm interested in.
Well, I could definitely stand to lose a few pounds. Maybe I'll contact you after. Maybe you could help me. Maybe you could help me
Come
out as
on
well.
down. Come on down, Lewis.
Okay. Now, recently you're also involved in a big match, XCW Gen X title against Brian O'Reilly, Alex Mays, Zach Patterson. You fell short. Zach Patterson was victorious. Is a Gen X
Yes.
title something that you might be going after in the future?
I feel like that's just in my grasp. I feel like I'm right there. I need to have that opportunity to grab that brass ring, As far as that match, Zach Patterson, first time I was in the ring with him, extremely talented guy. Brian O'Reilly and myself, we've had our differences. We were a tag team called the Irish Underdogs in XZW, and we were over like Rover, as they say. Crowd loved us, but eventually I was feeling that there was a glass ceiling we couldn't break through. I needed to do something a little more on my own. So one thing led to another. We had a feud against each other, and now after the pandemic and everything like that, now wrestling against each other, we know each other very well. You know what I mean? And I know what he's going to do. He almost knows what I'm going to do. So in that match, it was like just trying to get that one-upsmanship to get that win. However, Zach pulled it out. And as far as Alex, again, extremely talented, and been in the ring with him quite a bit now. So I'm getting to know his tricks as well. So I'm thinking that Gen X title is mine. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, I believe you, man. I believe you'll have that title around your waist in no time, man. So let's go back to the beginning for you. When did this journey into pro wrestling begin for you, and why did it begin?
Well, I started watching wrestling on TV, just coming across it when I was at my aunt's place, and her boyfriend was babysitting me, and he turned it on. And the first thing I remember seeing is actually just the ring itself, and just being mesmerized by the ring, the red ropes. It was a Monday Night Raw, and just everything. And then the first thing I remember is the Brood, and seeing Gangrel and the teeth,
Oh
and
yeah,
the blood. And I was like,
Mhm.
what is this? Um, I was always afraid of the Undertaker and Kane when I was young, and I always loved Stone Cold because he was the one that was always beating up those guys.
Yeah.
And then once I saw Jeff Hardy, that was it. I had come in right in 1999, 2000. And once I saw Jeff Hardy, I was like, that's what I want to do. I started wrestling on my trampoline at home. I even made like the armbands and all that he has. I
Yeah.
grabbed nylons and cut them, or all kinds of different things. Started doing the swanton, all that stuff. And then I started going to shows, and I was helping out and everything. And eventually there was a guy that had a wrestling school there, Wayne Kreiderman. And I came and checked out his school, Big Time Pro Wrestling in Ottawa. And one thing led to another. I thought I was too small, but he said, just come try it. And, obviously I was just instantly hooked. I mean, when you love something like this, nothing is going to stop you, and I'm so glad that I took that leap. I took that step to go to his wrestling school, because look at where I've come from there.
Absolutely. So what do you remember about your first match ever? What were you feeling before you hit the ring, and what were you feeling after the match was over?
Well, my first match I ever had was against a guy named the Brooklyn Foot.
Okay.
So he was,
I
yeah,
thought you were gonna say Brooklyn Brawler for a second, but Brooklyn
yeah,
Foot. Oh,
almost. Eh?
okay,
That would have
okay,
been good.
okay. Go
Um,
ahead.
so we had many training matches against each other. So we knew each other. We trained in the same school, and my first incarnation of myself actually was a masked wrestler by the name of Mystify.
Okay.
Now we're not sure exactly where he's gone, but he still might be in my heart a little bit. However, we wrestled each other, and obviously, I was extremely nervous. We went to a time limit draw. But the one thing that was good about it was everything that we did in the match, we had done in training, like over and over and over and over. So I was nervous before going out, but when we were in the ring, it felt normal. It felt natural because we didn't do anything outside of our comfort zone. The crowd, like my friends and family, were there, so of course, that was a big deal. And after the match, I was just on cloud nine. You know what I mean? It was an amazing feeling. It felt like I had accomplished something. We did it. It was great. Wayne came out after and gave us our diplomas and said that we graduated big time pro wrestling. So that was an amazing feeling as well.
So let's take your first match compared to your match against Chip Chambers. How do you feel you have grown as a professional wrestler from your first match up until that match with Chip Chambers?
Definitely intensity. Definitely knowing what to do and not feeling lost, not feeling, like I feel like I'm in control of my own matches now much more. And myself growing as a performer, I know my moves and sequences, and then I can put them into matches and we can integrate them, and we can put a little bit of his stuff in, a little bit of my stuff, and we can create, really good matches. Whereas when I was younger, I didn't really know, what I was as a character or what I wanted to be as a performer or anything like that. So it's just very much, and I still listen to everybody. I still, I'm still very humble. I'm not saying by any means that I'm the best out there. There's no way. But I feel like I've grown a lot as a performer, in the sense of taking what I have learned and applying it to now. You know what I mean? So there's been a big change, a big change.
Okay, cool, man, cool. And as I can attest, you're very, very talented, very, very talented. I'll say that. I said it before. I'll say it again. Your matches that I've seen are just fantastic, man.
Well, thank
Um,
you very much. I've
you're
worked very, very hard.
you're welcome, man. You're welcome, man. So you mentioned a couple of big names. You mentioned, I think, Steve Austin, Jeff Hardy. Was there one wrestler that inspired you the most that you could say that?
I would say, Jeff Hardy. I also really loved Rob Van Dam and AJ Styles. As a kid, what I remember loving about them was how good they looked selling and taking things. Like, when Van Dam would take a DDT and he would just spike it right on his head, or, just anything that Jeff Hardy took, he made everybody look amazing. And then, of course, their offense as well. I mean, I love the Swanton. I love the Frog Splash. Myself, when I got into wrestling, I wanted to be that. I wanted to be like Jeff Hardy. I wanted to be like Rob Van Dam. However, learning again about myself, I feel like I'm a little bit more like a Chris Benoit, like a Kurt Angle, like an Eddie Guerrero, something more technical, a little bit more high flying, but not as high flying as maybe I thought I wanted to be when I first got into the business. You know what I mean? So yeah, those were the guys that really inspired me, I would say, and just because of their size. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk as well. Those guys as well were big influences on me.
So what's the dream match? What's the dream match for you?
Wow. Oh
I mean,
man.
if you okay, I'll give you. You can name up to five names. Up to five names. If you can't just
Okay.
name one, if you can't just name one.
Okay, I would say top of the list right now, Daniel Bryan,
Okay.
AJ Styles,
Okay.
Will Ospreay,
Wow.
and man, Well, you know what? It would probably be Roman Reigns, to be honest.
Okay.
That's four. Roman Reigns, and um, man, this is tough. This is putting me on the spot here.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Um, those would be the four that I can think of because a lot of the other guys are retired now.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of one more person that I would love to work. Man, I would love to work Leo Rush. I love Leo.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I
Awesome.
think Leo's so talented. I think that we could have a great match because of our size. Roman Reigns, though, and Speedball said this too when he said John Cena, and I like his reasoning for it. And it's because if he's wrestling John Cena, then he's made it. So if I'm wrestling Roman Reigns, I've made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, and
absolutely.
that's always been the dream is either WWE or now AEW. And I think even more, I'd be leaning towards AEW now. That is the ultimate goal. If they come to Canada, I'd love to be any kind of extra work or anything like that. Maybe get a match here or there, makes everybody look good, and hopefully they'd want to continue working with me. But yeah, those would be my four right now.
All right, and I'm certain we'll see you on AEW Dark in the future, in the near
It's
future, man.
coming. It's
It's
coming.
coming. It's coming, man. So it's interesting. You mentioned Brian Danielson. Brian, great talent there. I think you and him would have a terrific match, personally.
I think so too, because I've been upping my submission game and
Yeah.
I've been working on different things like that, which I feel can bring a whole extra layer to your match. And you can put transitions in there and go back and forth and make fans believe that not only can you beat them with your finisher, but you could also beat them in a submission hold as well. And Daniel Bryan and myself are, he's a little bit bigger than me, but I'm still putting on
Yeah.
the
No,
size. So
you still got the guns. You still
so
got the guns, man.
yeah, and I just think he's amazing as a talent. I think like since he's come into AEW, I think he's been terrific. Oh, last guy on the list, and I absolutely love him, is Adam Cole. That would be
Okay, there we
the
go.
I don't like exactly. I like him almost better in NXT. I find with the Elite, I like it, but I like Adam Cole as a babyface because everybody does the, Adam Cole, baby, and
Yeah.
everybody loves Adam Cole. So, I love Adam Cole. So, I just,
Yeah.
that's.
He's a great talent. But you mentioned
He's
Will
a-
Ospreay, who is a phenomenal talent. Do you watch New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
try to watch as much Japan wrestling as I can, and I
Okay.
try and take things that they're doing and implement them in my matches, because a lot of the fans around here maybe haven't seen a transition like that or a move like that or something put in that way that I can take from New Japan or any Japan wrestling. And same thing with the structure of the match. Their structure is different from wrestling here, and especially their matches that are not on TV are very good to watch, because if you only watch TV wrestling, we're not always on TV. We're live in front of an audience. Our
Yeah.
matches have to be a little bit different. So, getting that aspect from Japan is really, I find, helping me as a performer as well in my structure, in building a match and things like that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So
Me too.
what do you think of this? Ryan Donovan one-on-one against Taji Ishimori.
Oh, that would be amazing. Actually, I saw him when I did Impact work.
Okay.
I was an extra for Impact, and he was great. So having him back in New Japan now is something very, very cool. I think it could be something down the line.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Donovan versus anybody right now. I really feel confident in myself. I feel like that's something that I had been lacking for a long time, and I feel that bringing that out of myself is again making me much better performer. And I feel like I can take on the world. Let's go.
All right, man. Let's go, man. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's do it right now. Let's just stop this. Let's stop
You're
this
getting me
interview,
fired
and
up
I'll
here,
I'll
Lewis.
meet you in London, Ontario. We'll take on the world together. Actually, that's a little further drive. I'll meet you in Toronto. That's be
Okay.
even there.
Okay. That's about 4.5 for me.
Four
So
and a
I'm
half
good.
for me as well. So
Four. Oh, there you go.
so I didn't know that you wrestled for Destiny. I was doing my research. You wrestled for Destiny Wrestling
Yes.
some time ago. So are you coming back to Destiny? anytime soon?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for that call. I did 2 4-ways with them, and one was in the summer when they did an outside show. I traveled down with Speedball Mike Bailey, so him and I went together, and obviously just a great learning experience as well, and getting to work with guys like Von Vertigo, Aiden Prince, El Reverso. That was the 4-way we last did. I also had Gabriel Fuerza, and guys like that. So that was amazing. I love those guys. I love their work, and I feel like my style is now matching up very well with theirs, so we can have really good matches. Aiden Prince is so intense. It's crazy. I mean, oh,
he's tremendous talent. He's a good guy as well.
I love
Tremendous talent.
absolutely.
Now I know I was fantasy booking earlier. You against Tashi Ishimori. We mentioned Destiny Wrestling. You versus Josh Alexander for the Destiny World title.
Oh man, if so, that would be like a dream match that like is not guys that are like in AEW or WWE, but like Josh Alexander, to me, him and Speedball Mike Bailey are the 2 best wrestlers in Canada, and I find for different reasons. And I'm so happy that Josh won the Impact World Championship. He deserves it. It's been a long time coming. He's had his struggles, he's had his ups and downs, and I think he's like just in his stride right now. He's in his prime, so getting a chance to work with him would be absolutely amazing. So Scott D'Amore, Impact Wrestling.
There you go.
Let's go. Bring in Ryan Donavon and
let's go, man.
Give him a shot.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned him with the Impact Wrestling World title. I was so happy he won it, but I was so disappointed when he lost it like 2 minutes later.
I know. But again, and I see why they did that. It's like now it's like he's chasing and he's going to get it again. And there's a story there. And, you have it in your grasp and you just get it taken away from you. And now we can really see what Josh is going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was upset. I was pissed. But then when I thought about it, I realized it makes perfect sense. The whole thing makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So what's the ultimate goal? Where would you like to ultimately end up? I know you mentioned WWE, AEW. What about like Impact Wrestling? There's MLW, of course, New Japan Pro Wrestling. What's the ultimate goal? If you could end up in one promotion, where would you like to end up?
For me, the ultimate would be AEW now.
Oh, okay.
It used to be WWE. However, they had changed a little bit of the way they did things. I think you have to be under a certain age and you have to be over a certain height, which I am not. So that was kind of out the window unless they do change things up. I've been a WWE fan my whole life. But AEW right now, I feel like is the place for me to go. Or Impact Wrestling. MLW, I think that would be a little bit more difficult, just because of visa issues and things like that. I guess AEW would be the same thing. I guess any company that if they sign you, they're going to help you with your visa. So MLW would be great. I started watching a lot of their stuff, and I love Impact. I've known Scott now for a little while, and I've been down to his Border City shows and I've done Impact work and stuff like that. So that would be terrific. That would be, and short-term goals would be, I try to set a big goal, but I also try to set a little bit of short-term goals that I can crush and knock out. And so that way I feel like I'm moving ahead. I'm very, very goal-oriented and I always want to be striving and moving towards something. So, C4, IWS, and SPW, those would be my 3 that in short term that I would like to be on regularly, just going out there, killing it, having awesome matches. The crowds are wicked, and they all have a special place in my heart that I would just love to be on those shows, and just killing it.
And you will be, man. You definitely will
Absolutely.
be. So last question, then I'll let you plug anything you want to plug. Your thoughts on Commissioner Al?
Commissioner.
He's a pain in the ass, man.
It's mixed feelings. It's definitely mixed feelings. On one hand, he's given me some great opportunity. And on the other hand, he's Commissioner Al.
There you go.
So we'll see what happens. I think deep down he's a good guy. I think he's just a bit of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, no, he's deep down. He's a good guy.
Absolutely.
I like Commissioner a lot. He's a good guy.
And Ryan
So
and Ryan too. Ryan
Ryan,
too.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course, can't forget Ryan.
absolutely.
So before we go, anything you want to plug? Any merchandise? Like if somebody wanted to get a Ryan Donovan T-shirt, do you
Yeah.
have them available? So go ahead, plug away anything. Social media, it's all yours, man.
Cool. Thank you. So Facebook, just Ryan Donovan. Instagram, Donovan Brand 09. Come follow me. Twitter at Real Ryan Donovan. And merchandise, I've got T-shirts, I've got pictures, I've got all kinds of things. Just message me on Instagram. I'm gonna try to work on getting my stuff into Pro Wrestling Tees. I want to get another shirt design. So I'm gonna have some new stuff coming up in the future. Look for me on Pro Wrestling Tees. Please give me a follow. I love you all, and yeah, just can't wait to see you all at the shows.
Any upcoming matches that you wanna plug?
Well, I'm going to be in Gatineau Pro Wrestling on November 27th, coming back
Okay,
for a big cruiserweight Royal Rumble. So the winner of that is going to become the Gatineau Pro Wrestling inaugural cruiserweight champion. And I got my sights set on that belt. Right now I'm the current Gatineau Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champion, along
okay,
with Brett McLeod.
okay.
We are the Stallions. And yeah, and we have the Nightman as well in our corner, and we kind of do like a trios thing. So sometimes it's him and Brad, sometimes it's me and Brad, but we are the current tag team champions, and I'm looking to become the cruiserweight Gatineau Pro Wrestling champion.
Awesome. So do you want to close out with a song? Do you want to sing for us or?
Oh
I'm kidding.
man,
I'm kidding.
yeah, you're really putting me on the spot
I'm
there.
kidding.
I need definitely some
Yeah, I'm.
a couple shots. If we do this interview again, let's do it at night, and maybe you'll
Yeah,
get a
we'll
song.
take a couple of shots together. We'll sing together. We'll do a
You know,
duet.
you know what's going to be funny is if McCrae hears this, right? Then the Hot Stepper and Ryan Donovan might have to do a little dancing and a little singing because I
And
saw him pull out the Thriller in one of his matches. So
yeah, that was the Seaway match.
that's
Brand
right. That's
Alexis.
right.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was interesting. That was
So
interesting.
you never know. Maybe a tag team.
All right, there we go. Well, I'll be in the crowd for that one for sure, man. So Ryan, thank you so much for joining me today. I know we were trying to connect. We finally connected today. It was an absolute pleasure having you on. Anytime you want to come back, man, please feel free to come back. Just ask
Well,
me. Just ask.
thank you very much, man. I know it was a little bit difficult schedule-wise, but I'm glad that we got this. Really excited and happy to be on the show and everything. So thank you very much. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep up the hard work. You're doing great, and you'll see me again sometime soon.
Thank you. Now, when I introduce you closing out, are you Ruthless or you're the Irish underdog? Well, what should I use?
Let's go with Ruthless, baby.
Okay, all right. So this has been the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network Sunday special interview. I'm your host, Lewis Carlin. Again, want to thank my guest, Ruthless Ryan Donovan. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.